Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Appointments Committee. Today is January 31st, 2023 at 3 p.m. We are all participating remotely via Zoom link that's listed on the agenda, as well as the town calendar and the town website. At this time, I'll take a roll call. Councilors, Shaughnessy.
Here.
Schnep.
Here.
Starr.
Here.
Mendez. Atzelis. We have quorum. So without the other two members here, the next point of business is to elect a chair or take nominations for chair. Does anybody here have a desire?
Cindy, maybe we could wait a few minutes, given
Sure.
that our colleagues, I think, were intending to come, but
Okay,
maybe we could move to the agenda item where we're discussing alternative times for the meeting.
absolutely.
Um,
Go right ahead.
All right.
So is it usually the 5th Tuesday of the month?
I think it's been the third, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's usually the third Tuesday of the month, but unfortunately, that runs into a conflict if we appoint somebody and then the agenda is 2 days later.
Yeah.
Because we have to post the agenda on Tuesday, which is the same day that we have the Appointments Committee meeting, so I have to update the agenda. And it's been recommended that we not continually update the agenda to do that. And if we don't
Right.
update it, then the appointments get pushed back a week. Councilor Mendez, hello.
Hey,
So are we
So I don't
thinking,
know, you know, you guys are the ones with the busy schedule, so I'm obviously available any day, but
The second, maybe? The second Tuesday? Would that be an issue for anyone?
I don't know.
I
what
don't
your
have a
civic
conflict.
associations do.
I have no idea what we're talking about.
okay.
Why don't we wait till Nick joins and then we can, maybe we can start at the top of the agenda as soon as Nick gets on.
Hey, there he is.
I know.
All right.
Hello
Now
there.
that we have a full quorum, would anybody like from the floor to make a nomination for chair? Councilor Shaughnessy.
I'd like to nominate Paula Schnep for chair?
I'll second.
Are there any other nominations? Not seeing any. It was recommended and seconded that Councilor Schnep be the new chair of the Appointments Committee. I'll take a roll call vote for that. Councilors Shaughnessy,
Yes.
Starr,
Yes.
Mendez,
Yes,
Atzelis,
Yes,
Schnep.
I know, might as well do it. Yes.
Go ahead.
It's unanimous. And now I'll turn the meeting over to Madam Chair.
Oh, great. We get to be official already. As you were joining the meeting, Jeff, we were talking about the meeting time for this committee. Historically, it has been on the third Tuesday, which has now run into an issue with the work that we do at this committee. We can't really put it on the next council meeting without breaking all of our open meeting rules. So the thought was, if the Tuesday was available for everybody, we could move it to the second Tuesday of the month. And that way we would be able to discuss applicants and propose them for a first read on the second council meeting of the month. So,
fine with me. As long as I have notice, I'm good.
yeah.
and what time of day?
Well, I know I have a conflict usually at 7 o'clock, so I kind of, a little bit on the earlier side is better for me, but I also don't want to impinge on work schedules, and so,
I think
what is it?
I think Councilor Starr had
Oh,
a,
no, I just,
Okay.
I have a conflict on Tuesday from like 2:30 to 4. There's a water board
Okay.
meeting to go to, the
Oh,
second Tuesday. But we can meet at 4.
is 4 o'clock a good time for folks? It's not,
Yeah,
okay.
Okay.
Works for me.
All right, why don't we try that? And I assume we're going to continue meeting virtually.
We are able to until March
Oh,
23rd.
that's true. Okay.
And
well-
then after March 23rd, if the governor decides to extend it to have remote privileges throughout, then that's up to them. But as of the 23rd, that's our cutoff, and then we have to be in person.
Okay, so we'll at least have a February and a March meeting in person, virtually,
Okay.
and then we'll see what, the legislature does. They like to keep us waiting till the last minute. So Cindy, do you anticipate we'll have candidates for openings in 2 weeks?
Yes, we have actually several. We have 2 for the Youth Commission. We have one that would like to, one application for the Council on Aging, Housing Committee, Hyannis Main Street Waterfront, and the ZBA. There are vacancies on those 2 committees, but not the ZBA. Then we have another application for the Infrastructure and Energy Committee.
Okay,
There's a couple people looking to go on the Hyannis Main Street Waterfront Committee, as well as Recreation and Waterways. And the last one is Council on Aging, another one for Council on Aging, and another one for Recreation. So we have several.
okay. All right, well, if it's okay with the rest of the committee, how about if I work with Cindy to organize the next meeting? I'm assuming that not all the candidates will be available next Tuesday, in 2 weeks. So we'll check on what the vacancies are. Jeff,
Yeah, just if Cindy could send us a list of openings that aren't being applied for.
perfect, yes. Okay. Yeah, in fact, Cindy, since this is a new year, why don't you update us with what information you have in terms of current vacancies, and that'll give us a good start of also the possibility we need to do some recruitment. So,
Sure, if you go on our Town of Barnstable Town Council webpage,
mhm,
and over to the right where all of us are listed for contacts, there is a committee vacancy that is updated every day after noon
Okay.
time.
okay,
So those are all the current vacancies that are listed that have nobody in them, obviously currently. In June of this year, there'll be a lot of reappointments, obviously, so those you want to look at, but you have to look at those individually on each page on who expires, or I can put a list together so that you have some sort of an idea of who's expiring in 2023. And that'll give you a global look. But currently, anything that's nobody's sitting in right now is on our town council webpage under committee vacancies.
okay.
Yeah.
I would sure like if you could do the homework for us of putting that recertification list together. That would be
Sure.
great for us to be able to see that sooner than later.
Sure, I'll give you
So-
that tomorrow. I can circulate it tomorrow.
Great, thank you. Jeff, did you have something else?
Oh, no, that, I was just
Okay.
gonna parrot the same thing you said, so.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And Nick, this is your first time on the committee, right?
Yes,
I think, okay, so you may be familiar with the normal workings of it, but we usually get a slate of people and positions and what do we usually give them, a 5-minute interview slot?
It all depends on the questioning from the counselors. Some counselors have, some questions depending on the committees that they're interviewing for, whether it's regulatory or non-regulatory.
Yeah.
So it all depends on your questions. And it goes
But-
anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes.
But generally, how much time do we give between the candidates in the schedule? Is it 15 minutes, actually?
Yes, yes.
15, okay.
Yep.
All right. And I would suggest, and again, for those of you who are, go ahead, Nick.
and is the expectation that we make decisions at the end of that meeting as far as who's appointed or who's not?
Generally, that's been the expectation. I think where there are some competitive slots, we may defer a decision, if we need to have more information. The one thing I would recommend, and again, you may have done this in the last year, is if if there is a slot with competitive, that we really try to have the same questions for each of the candidates so that, it's an even evaluation for each person, but not
This
always
committee-
easy to do because sometimes you have follow-up questions that you don't give to each candidate. Tracy?
We had actually put together a set of, I want to say, 4 questions
Oh, okay.
that we, were asking the different candidates, all of them, I think.
Okay.
Maybe not necessarily all the questions, but just to give them a sense to answer the question. Because, one of them was about, what do you think makes for a healthy or a vibrant community? And we just,
Mhm.
a way to hear their thoughts on different things like that.
Okay, great.
I can circulate those questions as well for everybody if you want to look at them
Perfect.
and fine tune them.
Good. Yeah, I mean, my experience was that there were usually certain questions that were asked of every candidate, but it would be great to, step off of ones that we've already been using. So that sounds great. Of the vacancies you listed, Cindy, none of those are, is there the same number of people who are interested as there are vacancies, or are there some that we would be making choices between the candidates?
Let's see, for the youth commission, no, there's only 2 students that have applied and there's only 2 vacancies left.
Okay.
For the council on aging, there's 2 people that are interested and there's 6 vacancies. On the Hyannis Main Street waterfront, there's 2 people interested and there's 5 vacancies. The ZBA, there is no vacancies available right at the moment. And on the Recreation Commission, there are 2 people interested and 2 vacancies. And the same thing with the infrastructure.
Okay. I know that sometimes a candidate really doesn't fit well with the vacancy, even if they're the only candidate. So I guess we can deal with that if that happens. So oftentimes those candidates often want to, have expressed interest in a couple of, committee vacancies. So maybe they're better, more appropriate for another seat. So, Nick?
Do we have vacancies on conservation?
No, there's no vacancies currently. I can double check that for you though. Hang on 1 second.
I think as happens sometimes every year, that the whole reappointment process is an opportunity to really look to see if new blood would be appropriate, or if, experience outweighs that. I think we've made sort of an evolution at the appointments level that reappointments aren't always a given, so.
I believe our prior chair, Jen, was actually reaching out to those committee chairs on the
Right.
reappointments to sort of get their feedback
Yeah,
on
yeah.
whether or not this was a good committee member, someone they would love to have back, or maybe someone who's having attendance problems or
Yeah.
things like that.
There is currently no vacancies on the Conservation Commission.
Okay, thanks.
But I think there's probably at least 2 or 3 seats that will be up for reappointment in June, which isn't that far away, if you
Right.
think about it.
Yeah.
So, because
Yeah,
technically,
there are 2 up for reappointment in 2023 on the Conservation.
because we need to have a first and second read no later than the last meeting in June to make sure that we go into July with, whomever we need reappointed. So if there's any questions on that, we probably need to be moving on that in April and May. So. All right, so
Thank
I
you.
guess I think we're good. Between Cindy and I, if there's anything we need to get out to you before in 2 weeks, we'll do that. And feel free to call me if you have any ideas or brainstorms for appointments. All right. Oh, I guess I'm
to me.
the chair. Can I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
Second.
All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, we're done. So that was 15 minutes. Good meeting,
Now you
folks.
you
Thank you.
spoiled
All
us. Now that's the expectation moving forward,
yeah.
Madam Chair.
That's
Shortest
true.
one.
All right,
Whatever.
I'll get all that information circulated for you.
All right, sounds great. I'll see you all
Just-
Thursday. Oh, yes.
As a point
Go
of order, we have to roll call on Zoom,
I
just an
know we-
FYI for next
I
time.
know. I
Thank
know.
you, Counselor. Counselor Shaughnessy.
Yes.
Counselor Starr,
Yes.
Counselor Mendez,
Yes.
Counselor Atzelis,
Yes.
Counselor Schnep.
Yes,
You are
I
adjourned.
almost said what?
I know. All right, now that we're official, I'll see you in person in a couple days.
All right,
you.
see you guys later.
Take care.